Hello there everyone, welcome back, and I thought I'd give a talk about this film, which you know is an old one, The Princess and the Frog. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this, because if you've seen my channel for a period of time, you know that I usually cover movies when they release. I don't review films from years ago, in some cases decades ago. I think I've only done that once, and that was with Fanboys, and that's because that was, you know, an important year. It was the 40th year for Star Wars and stuff, so I was doing a couple Star Wars related stuff, so I thought I'd review that as well at the time. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because AMC, which is pretty cool, they did this re-release, which I'm assuming is for the Wreck-It Ralph movie, because in that movie you have a bunch of the Disney princesses that are coming back into the movie for cameos, probably when they go into the internet and stuff. So they're releasing some of the animated Disney princess movies. Like last week, it was actually the live action Beauty and the Beast they did. I'm pretty sure they did that one to capitalize on the film because it came out last year, which I reviewed that as well. It's kind of cringy and all because I don't have good quality and all, but if you wanted to check that video out, by all means go ahead. And this past week they did Princess and the Frog, and this upcoming week they're doing Tangled. I hear they're going to be doing Moana. So they're doing a couple of those animated Disney princess movies as like a re-release, which I think it's for that reason. But enough of that. That's basically the intro of why I'm doing this video. So, The Princess and the Frog. I have some stuff to say about it. I thought I'd get my words out there because I did go and see it, part of their little event thing, because I really liked it when I was younger. I saw it in theaters, and I was, 2009? So, it was a long time ago. And so basically, if you guys don't know, the main plot of this film is basically a little switcheroo on the Frog Prince story. It's adapted from that, but very loosely, kind of like how Frozen is like adapted from the Snow Queen. So it's not technically an original movie, but it's slightly adapted. So, but it's basically where this prince comes to town and he makes a deal with this Shadow Man. He gets turned into a frog, and there's this whole plot about the Shadow Man trying to become wealthy and take control of the town and all. So by getting his blood in this voodoo thing, he uses the prince's assistant as a little ploy to be able to marry what will be the princess of the town for this one day, so that once he does that, then he can further his plot to take over the town and become rich and powerful and all that jazz. And on the other side, you have this hardworking, our main protagonist. This is the main protagonist, I was just saying that. Our main protagonist, Tiana, who's very poor and who's been saving up her entire life to finally pursue her dream to open her own restaurant for her dad, and because cooking and all is very special in their family and she's real good at it. And so their paths collide, the Frog Prince and Tiana collide. And when, as you were seeing in the marketing and stuff, when the film came out, obviously it was a while ago, you think it'll go like how it does, I assume, in the Frog Prince book. I've never read that or seen whatever, but it doesn't work out exactly the right way because she isn't actually a princess. It's just she's dressed like one because they're at a costume party. And so she turns into a frog with him, and then they go on like this adventure in the bayou to not only turn themselves back to human, but also as they go on this adventure, they start to grow as characters and stuff. And that was one of my main like compliments, I'd say, with the film, is that I really liked how it developed the characters through the story. And I gotta say, I'm so glad Disney did this. I mean, it's hard to appreciate it when it came out, which was sad because it did not perform that well. It didn't fail. It wasn't like a box office bomb or anything. But I believe it cost over $100 million to make, and worldwide, not just worldwide, it made about $267 million on a $100 million budget. So while not necessarily a failure by any stretch of the measure, it didn't succeed like they were hoping it would, like massively. Now that meant it broke even, but it didn't make that much money that they were expecting. And I think that was the final nail in the coffin for them to do the CG animated movies, because Pixar, you know, constantly puts out great masterpieces. And that same year, they put out Up, which not only made over $700 million worldwide. Let me just make this very clear. I'm not knocking Up at all. I think it's a fantastic movie. Excellent. Some of the best in animation. But I just wish that Princess and the Frog did a bit better, and you gotta know they were looking at the data for how both these films performed and how they were gonna be doing moving forward with the animation department. But it also was one of the few animated film. I believe it's only the third animated film in history to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars, which is a huge deal because only two other films, I believe, animation-wise, have been nominated for that. And of course, obviously, it won Best Animated Feature as well. And two other films was Toy Story 3, another Pixar movie, and the original animated Beauty and the Beast, which was even more shocking back then. Like, it was really crazy that that was able to get nominated. Such a triumph for that film. But yeah, just because Pixar was still on their continuous streak of successful films, and this Princess and the Frog didn't perform as well as Up, unfortunately, that was the final nail in the coffin for Disney to be like, we're going to go the CG route. Which a lot of people were wanting at the time, but it's oversaturated at this point. Like, we were expecting some other studios would still be doing their thing with their hand-drawn animation and all, but no, they're not really any studios really doing that anymore. The last animated movie that's hand-drawn, I believe, that came out was that Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which is garbage. It's bad, so that sucks. I really want Disney to do hand-drawn again. But I just think that this film was pretty underrated because all the stuff of a classic Disney movie's in here, right? You have, obviously, the Disney Princess thing, which is done many, 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 many times. But it also does a unique turn on it. Like, I like the new setting they're in. They aren't that far in the past. It's like it takes place, I believe, in the 1920s, 1930s of New Orleans, the 2030 area. So I really like the new time setting. I like the area. I think the animation, which was so good, it really was. And some parts were just, love the animation. That's basically, I lost my words there for a second. And I really liked the characters in this movie a lot. Like, I was just, when I rewatched it, I was thinking, man, I forgot how good this film was because it was so long ago since I've seen it. I mean, I have it on DVD and stuff, but haven't rewatched it in a few years. So I completely forgot just how beautiful and stuff the film is. The side characters I thought were really good as well. Like, you meet this alligator Luis, and he has some good songs. Like, that's another thing too. The songs are really good. I believe 2 of them or 3 of them stand out to me. Now, my favorite one was actually the song that plays at the end by Neo, Never Knew I Needed. Stuck in my head. Beautiful, wonderful song. Just terrific. And it really fits in what the movie is. And actually, this is a love story when it comes down to it. It's basically a love story between Tiana and Naveen. As they go on this venture, they begin to fall in love with each other. Even though this film's about 9 years old, I thought I'd just say spoiler warning before I delve into this. But yeah, this is easily the best part of the whole movie here. Just their dynamic. And you see how they start out and then what they go through throughout the film. So as a result, you have Tiana here who is constantly working, like, always stressed out. She wants to save up that money to get that dream job to make her dad proud and stuff. And then, on the other hand, you have Naveen, who is always around partying, never really doing anything, and, you know, all that jazz. But once their paths cross and they get roped in on this adventure, it's pretty funny to see how they interact with each other. They aren't not interested in each other, they're annoyed with each other and how different they are. But then throughout the film, they start to teach each other stuff, like her teaching him about cooking, him teaching her about the dancing, and then obviously, as Disney movies are, they start to fall in love throughout the film, and, you know, just some really good stuff going on. And like how near the end of the film, how you could see just how very different they changed. Like when he was dancing with her, he's like, you know what, this is the girl for me, I'm done partying around and all that stuff. But then when the Shadow Man finally confronts Tiana, at least, and he's like, you know what, I'll give you everything you've worked hard for, and all you do is just gotta give me that. But then instead of just accepting that deal, she's like, I can't, not without, you know, Naveen. So they both have changed a lot throughout the film, and then we get to the finale, and of course, you know, happily ever after. And I just thought how they did it there was so beautiful, and how some of the music revolves around it. Like, it was just wonderful. And then how I just thought that was all done really nicely. You have Almost There, which is her song about how she's almost there to open her restaurant for her dad and stuff. That was really well done. I like the animation, how it changed into the little picture she keeps, says Tiana's Place. I like how the animation went to that form. The villain song I thought was great. Friends on the Earth Side, wow. And just a lot of the animation that I really like pops up through those sequences with the voodoo kind of stuff and the dimension. I thought all that was great. Yeah, that's basically some scattered thoughts on the film. I thought it was really underrated. Like, this is probably the most underrated Disney movie I think they've ever put out. I really do. I'm glad that it came out when it did, though, and I'm glad that we all were able to enjoy it. But this one just underperformed, and they wanted to do better, obviously. And I just think that we should not forget how really different in the format it was for the studio. And I wish they would do more films like this, hand-drawn at least. I mean, I love their CG films, don't get me wrong. Zootopia is still my favorite animated movie. Fantastic. Moana, while bleh, it was average. Tangled was alright. Wreck-It Ralph was really good. They do some good CG animated movies there. It's just I miss the hand-drawn ones. These just feel so special to a lot of us, through the years. And this was their last attempt at it, and it didn't work out as well, unfortunately, but still a great movie. And there was some I looked at rated G, I'm like, there's some moments in there that are really dark, like imagery wise and depths and stuff. Literally the main villain gets dragged to hell, so I was like, what? I forgot about that. But I'm glad, because the rating system's pretty bad at some points. Like, you have films that are rated PG that shouldn't be PG, and you have films that are rated R that should not be R. It's just, and I'm just glad that this was G, because there could be some whoa stuff in a G-rated film. Just because there's one or two dark moments doesn't mean you have to make it PG. So, rant aside, those are my thoughts on The Princess and the Frog. With all that said, this gets a 9 out of 10. It's really good. Thank you all for watching. If you guys want to comment about this video down below, you can. And also, another reason why I wanted to do a review on this is because I know YouTube wasn't in the exact way it was when this movie came out as it is now. But I just looked back and no one really talked about this film and stuff. So I wanted people to at least see a recent review of it out there, of a fan like me of the movie. And maybe we could start a conversation. And yeah, that's why I wanted to do this, because... Okay. Thank you all for watching. If you want to hit the subscribe button, that would be really cool. Hit the bell so that you can get more notifications about when I upload. If you want to comment, I'll reply to pretty much every comment, basically. Thank you all for watching, and I hope I see you again in another video. Bye.